Hi guys, today I'm going to be starting a series of tutorials on how to take on a computer AI in Star Ruler. Now you may be thinking, oh yeah, I don't really need help with that. And if you do, well, these videos probably aren't for you. These are more for the people who can't beat an AI on medium no matter how hard they try, and I'm just going to step them through it and show them how it can be done and some strategies that they can use to not only beat the medium AIs but beat the hard AIs as well. Right, so you got your standard game. Now we'll keep this basic for this first tutorial. System count 250, spacing 2000, flatten it out. Research doesn't really matter about any of that, you can just leave it. I turn the density up. Gives you more asteroid fields and things like that. I'll explain how to exploit them later. Ship limit, min scale, max scale, that's all fine, just leave it like that. Oh, that's actually on the wrong setting. Turn that down. Turn that back up to about there. Because I want to do this quickly, I'm going to leave the research gain curve up. Actually, I'll turn that cost curve down a little bit as well. Alright, yeah, here we go. This is just a trivial AI because I'm only going to be showing you some basic ideas that can get you started. Okay, well, if this is your first game, first thing you have to do is pause and go straight into your blueprints. Now these blueprints are the most basic designs that you can have with what you have as starting technology. Plate armor, thrusters, etc. Now what you need to do straight away is set up these blueprints so that when you get into the game you can go into your blueprints and import the ones that you have for this tech level. So you got the basic ones. Alright, let's start with the fighters. The scouts, you can just leave them, they're fine the way they are. You got a thruster here. It uses a relatively low amount of fuel, but its flight time's only 10 minutes. So you've got two options. You can turn up the fuel cells or you can turn down the thrusters. If you turn down the thrusters, you lose your thrust and therefore your mass will take longer to accelerate to a higher speed and they're not as maneuverable. That can cause problems, but for me I don't really care because I basically just use them to defend my colonies when it comes to the crunch. So what I do, I add on another 2 plate armors and turn that down one, that down one. You've still got more thrust than mass. That's the most important thing that you need to remember at this point. It's lower damage output, yeah. Alright, this is what you need. Oh, that's right. That's only on the cruiser ones. Put on a muon cannon. Put on 2 of those on either side. And as I said, these are just some basic designs that you can use. Alright, so it's saying that the power is unstable, and it's because the power is actually less than what you have. So we'll check the flight time. It's 11 minutes. So we'll turn down the bridge size. No. We'll turn down the thrusters and we'll put the power output up. And because of that, we actually have 0.25 space left. We can turn up the fuel cell. And now let's look at the flight time. It's still 11 minutes. But you have an extra 10.5 damage, which, you know, 1 DPS basically per second. Now it's not a great design, but you get the idea. What you have at the start you can actually use to set yourself up just in case someone does rush you, and with the AIs it's pretty much like that. Okay, so behavior settings. You don't really need the resources. I will get into these other behavior settings in later tutorials. Alright, the default defend range, current system, that's all that you need to keep the pirates and the remnants at bay. Automatically dock when there are no enemies in the system. Don't dock at planets. If you leave it like this, when you build a carrier, the fighters that you build in that system will restock the carrier automatically. Yeah, I don't even use fleets. I don't need them. You know, that's just the way that I work. If you like fleets, yeah, good for you. But I don't do that sort of thing. However, this is something that I do like to put in. Automatically retrofit. Just add that into pretty much every design, and it will keep the design up to date with your new technology all the time. Okay, so you save that. And now, as you can see, it's the new fighter design. It may not have as much maneuverability as the other one, but it has twice as much health, which I tell you is a lot more useful. Okay, now you've got your basic colony ship. Now this is a really basic design for a colony ship. What I do is I turn the fuel cell down by 2. Still gives it an 18-minute flight time, and the maximum flight range is 437 AU, which is pretty much your entire galaxy. It doesn't have to go any further than that. Life support is fine like that, but because you've turned down the size of your fuel cell, you can turn up the size of your thrusters. Now it's 441 AU. Oh gee, big whoop. I mean, the galaxy's only like 200 across or something with a 250 system, so it doesn't really matter, it can stay like that. And what this does is it'll get your colony ships there faster, and it will actually, I think that actually reduces the cost. See how the cost goes down like that? Well, I'll put it back at the other one. 34.3k. And that's 34.6. Well, okay, so it costs a little bit more, but your colonies will get there faster. There is another option that you can explore, and that's just simply turning down the size of your thrusters and your fuel cell. Still got a 15-minute flight time, maximum flight range is 309 AU, but the cost of it is down. So that may benefit you, but I prefer paying the cost and just having my colonies get there quicker, because I usually set one system constantly building colony ships when the resources hit critical mass, and I'll talk about critical mass in a later thing. For this design you don't need the automatically retrofit, that's just pointless. You don't need any of these other ones, it's just basically colonize. You don't even really need the fetch ammo or fetch fuel, but it doesn't matter if you leave them in anyway. Alright, what else have we got? Well, that's pretty much it for your startup. If you want to edit your bomber in the same way that you did with the fighter, that's fine, you can do that. Alright, next tutorial I'm going to be talking about your first build order and colonization. Catch you later.